right, good evening, everyone. We are here back again for another Lobstr learning session. We are this week going to be going over some more in-depth things that we did last week. Last week, just to kind of recap, was obviously 101, class 101, and we talked briefly about setting up a Lobstr wallet and the beginning stages of that. This week, we are going to be going more in depth in class 102. If you're coming in to the class tonight, you're going to be joined muted, and it'll stay that way till the end, just so we can get through the information. We have a lot of information to give you tonight. It's going to be something different, just going over the material with Shane. Some of this stuff is new to me, but it is so intense and so much that you're going to be blown away. I was blown away when I saw it, so just prepare to take notes. This is being recorded, so it will be, you'll be able to see it on a video pretty soon once we get it all processed and everything. But we are going to use this as a training tool for new people. So we're going to continue doing sessions in sequence, just, raising the bar each time. So basically tonight, we're going to be talking about ISO20022 stable coins and what they are, how to add stable coins to a Lobstr e-wallet, what are APY tokens and assets, and what are dividend assets, how to locate and add dividend assets. And then we'll have a wrap up at the end with Q&A. And on the call with me tonight is Shane Lott. He is from the collective group, and he also participates as an administrator on a lot of Telegram channels, one of them being the collective Lobstr 101. He is there quite often. If you see his name up there, say hello to Shane out there or ask him a question. I'm on Telegram as well under Mr. Tracy channel. Between the two of us, we can answer questions, but we've got, like I said, we've got a lot of data to give you tonight. So I'm going to turn it over to Shane and let him drive you. And you're going to really be happy tonight. It's a lot of good stuff. So take it away, Shane.
Thanks for the intro, mate, and always good to jump on these collab calls, and look forward to expanding people's knowledge in both Stellar and Lobstr and what we're moving into. So just a bit of a note on the reference materials posted in both our channels. We've got the blue PDF for the new financial system. We've pulled information from that and putting that together with respective short snippets of videos from the subject matter. But all of that subject matter drives back from the actual sites that have created the tokens, the assets, and those sorts of things for verification. But just want to give a shout out to QSI and their QSI resources. Also the man himself with Whiplash347, all the asset and token developers with their data. We've also done a significant amount of independent research, and we've got to thank the internet because that's what we're on at the moment, and can't wait until we go quantum and move into the Starlink as well, get us off the terrestrial stuff. Having said that, what are our ISO 20022 stable coins? Well, taking from our new financial system overview from the global currency reset, which we're very close to and in the middle of at the moment, I believe, along with the QFS, and also our gold standard. All our BRICS nations and other nations are all moving back to gold, getting away from fiat. That brings us in line with Basel III and also the ISO 20022 running over of the backed assets with digital and our digital currencies. So we're going to concentrate on those currencies tonight and a few others and give you a bit more in-depth information to tie it all together in relation to the GCR and the QFS. So pulling apart a number of the maps, what is a stable coin? Well, stablecoin simply is the price of a cryptocurrency or token that is pegged back to a commodity be it the dollar, metals, or assets. So just in an overview, our first video, and I'll hit the play for that now.
Tokens. We've seen these before, right? Those little IOUs used in casinos? Well, they've grown up a bit since then. Today, thousands of tokens are being used to buy property or invest in art and even monetize your attention. But how did we get here? Tokenization is the process of taking an asset and representing it in many small parts, or tokens. You can think of these tokens as a kind of digital receipt for a slice of that asset. But unlike paper, these tokens are forever logged on a blockchain. Security tokens are a relatively new type of token. They represent parts of real-world assets such as gold, classic cars, or royalties from your favorite pop song. Then we have special non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, which represent unique digital collectibles. Think about all those infectiously cute crypto kitties. But perhaps the most interesting application are utility tokens. These give you access to a future service like renting computing power, placing a bet on a sports game, or casting a legally binding vote. Tokenization then promises a world where almost any asset or service can be represented and stored on a blockchain. The possibilities are theoretically endless, but much like the early days of the internet, we are just starting to understand which ideas are best suited to this technology. It's still early days, but the transition toward a tokenized world could change the way we think about everything that holds real value.
And I think a lot of the comments about could are actually will and are at this point in time. So a bit of a word on Basel III, or Basel IV as they're now calling it, basically is a requirement for any tier one asset to be backed by the banks with commodities. So in essence, the death of the fiat system and the debt currency, debt society. So pulling apart each of our asset-backed tokens being XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand and IOTA, it's important to note that they're all on different networks. Hence the reason why in some respects they've got bridging tokens between them, but they are different and separate networks. And a bit of an overview to the Stellar network. There's actually a website called stellarbeat.io, which is the Stellar network visibility. So worldwide, here are all our servers for the Stellar network. And as we did earlier, if we drill down into the United States, for example, we've got a couple of servers located in Lincoln and Des Moines, or Omaha, I should say. And difference between the red and the blue just means that one's online, one's offline. We have an issue with that particular, I did this before, apologies, wrong demonstration. It's all right, I'll go back. So bringing up either, we've got one online and one has an issue, and we've got a known issue with Wirex at the moment that their validator is out of sync. So once it comes back in sync, that'll change to blue. This website is just great for being able to see what status the actual network is at. But from a technical perspective, just quickly, here is the actual map. So if we were to grab one of our Wirex sites, we can see there that it's coming up with validator failing. Just means there's an issue in that particular area. But looking at SDF 1 and 2, Stellar Development Foundation, selecting one of those, we can see that all the other network validators that are connected to SDF 1. So 1 and 2 are connected. However, there's a couple of different connections for SDF 2. Just a bit of proof in the process that it's not just flashy tokens and websites. There's actually meat on the bones for what it is we're working with in the QFS. well, what do the actual networks do? There's a question that came up as well. So Ripple being our institutional network, Stellar being our business to business or person to person, as Tracy and I proved in 101. I sent him a store of value in XLM. We'd never met before Lobstr 101, our first session, but I was quickly able to grab his contact and send him 10 XLM as a test, and that went through in under the 5-second period. So XDC, based in logistics with smart contracts for tracking and tracing. Algorand is more commercial, again with smart contracts, tracking and tracing. And IOTA is more industrial and IoT. Again, separate networks, separate tokens to serve separate purposes. Drilling down into each of the stable coins in their own right. XRP being on the Ripple network. There's some information there straight out of the maps, but got a video to show now on actual Ripple and the Ripple network to give you an overview.
While banks build walls, Ripple continues to build bridges with the aim of revolutionizing the financial world as we know it. Ripple connects banks, payment providers, and digital asset exchanges while quickly becoming the standard for digital value transfer globally. We're going to find out exactly how Ripple are trying to solve a problem measured in trillions of dollars by building the Internet of Value. Coming up, technology has progressed so much that things like self-driving cars have become a reality, but one sector has really fallen behind, and that's international payment transfers. In the age of internet, where everything is instant, international transactions can take anywhere between days to weeks. All around the world, there are $180 trillion worth of cross-border payments made every year, with a combined cost of more than $1.7 trillion a year. If you've ever made a cross-border payment, you'll know all about the costly fees. Even services like PayPal are guilty of this. It costs about 2.9% to make an international payment using PayPal, and that's before the money lost with unfavorable currency conversions. Ripple aims to change that and make international transfers instant and cheap for everyone. Ripple is to banks what the internet is to the world. They call this concept the Internet of Value. Unlike Bitcoin, which aims to remove banks as intermediaries, banks are some of the largest users of Ripple. Released in 2012, Ripple is an open payment network for digital and fiat currency, as well as a privately held company that aims to lower the cost of international payments. These days, customers expect an easy and low-cost way to send and receive money instantly, yet existing payment systems make it hard for banks to provide this service. The main problem that Ripple tries to solve is best understood with the following example. Imagine a person in the United States trying to send money to Mexico. As you can see, there are many stops in between the sender and receiver. Each one of these stops not only slows down the transaction, but also takes a transaction fee. Ripple's distributed financial technology aims to bypass these stops by utilizing their own, more efficient payment network. XRP is the third most valuable cryptocurrency and one of the fastest and most scalable digital assets in the world. Its primary use case is to act as a bridge asset for transforming from one fiat currency to another. When XRP was created, Ripple studied bank usage of Nostro accounts. They discovered that usage of a common bridge currency like XRP had the potential of saving banks a significant amount of payment processing cost. If banks use Ripple's interledger solution Xcurrent, they are projected to save up to 33%. However, if banks choose to use XRP as a bridge currency, the levels of savings is increased to up to 60%. XRP transactions are so inexpensive that they're barely noticeable at only a fraction of a cent. Also, XRP settles in under 4 seconds. That's the kind of speed that will support global commerce for Ripple. Scalability is also critical for a payment system that must support transactions on a global scale. XRP clocks in at 1,500 transactions per second. Additionally, the payment channel function allows XRP Ledger to process transactions at over 70,000 transactions per second and is horizontally scalable to even higher speeds, which exceeds the metrics of even centralized payment processing networks such as Visa. RippleNet is the name given to the ecosystem built by Ripple. This includes their three main products, Xcurrent, Xrapid, and Xvia, as well as the open source XRP Ledger. They each solve different and unique problems, which include global payments, on-demand liquidity, and business payments. In short, RippleNet is the combination of all of these elements. Xcurrent is focused on processing payments for banks and other payment providers. Xrapid provides on-demand liquidity by sourcing XRP from cryptocurrency exchanges. Ripple's pathfinding algorithm finds the fastest and cheapest path between two currencies automatically. Once a bank is connected to both Xcurrent and Xrapid, it can work with Xvia. Xvia is a tool for businesses to interact with the Xcurrent network. It is essentially an interface that enables companies to send or receive payment requests to and from their bank using Xcurrent and Xrapid for payment processing. Finally, all payments travel through the RippleNet system, which is tied together end-to-end with Ripple's Interledger protocol. Ripple's Interledger protocol can connect every payment service in the world and process payments across every network and ledger, whether it's Visa, PayPal, Western Union, or even JP Morgan. The Ripple network can provide seamless, borderless payments in seconds for just fractions of a cent. But Ripple can also connect all of these payment services with every other cryptocurrency and blockchain ledger. Ripple can in fact become the reserve standard across multiple platforms and ledgers, making it the most dominant monetary asset in the world. This ability to communicate with other networks provides additional liquidity to the XRP ledger as it's extended to connect to other networks and their value. Speaking of connections, recently, JP Morgan has made waves in the crypto world by announcing the release of a GPM banking cryptocurrency. It's no secret that banks have already been in an arms race to build the next big blockchain technology. Most high-profile sites have jumped on the anti-XRP bandwagon, claiming that this new token will be a bad thing for XRP. It's pretty clear that it's not the case. The fact that a high-profile Wall Street bank like JP Morgan wants to enter the crypto space with their own fiat-pegged token is a clear sign that cryptocurrency is one step closer to achieving universal acceptance in the banking space. This could actually be one of the most bullish things to happen to XRP. On May 16, 2017, JP Morgan and Ripple were part of an event where they did a demo with both Ripple and Quorum. Imagine what would happen to XRP if JPM announced the use of Xrapid. Ripple has a large-scale strategy where it is partnering with banks and companies around the world on trialing Xcurrent and Xrapid. Right now, Ripple is already partnered with more than 200 clients, banks, and financial institutions. In 2016, Ripple formed an alliance with SBI, Japan's financial services giant. The result of the alliance was a new business unit for SBI called SBI Ripple Asia. The purpose of this alliance is to build and engineer a sales force across Asia to sell and install Ripple's enterprise solutions for cross-border payments at banks across the region. Additionally, Ripple has many tools at their disposal to promote Xrapid adoption and the use of XRP. Ripple has solid, proven leadership helping to guide its growth and adoption. These are superstars. If you don't know who Brad Garlinghouse is, you should. He used to work for Yahoo and was the author of the now world-famous Peanut Butter Manifesto. Brad Garlinghouse is a leader that believes in efficient and laser focus for an organization. It's good to have a CEO who will not stray from the core vision for XRP to be the best digital asset for payments. As far as other executives at Ripple, it can be said that this group is a real who's who of cross-border value transfer. Ripple has faced some heavy criticism from the crypto community due to its centralized nature. It is important to point out that Ripple is taking steps towards higher levels of decentralization. Ripple is in the process of expanding its blockchain nodes, which validate each transaction. This means that as more banks and businesses use the Ripple network and XRP, not only will the network be able to handle all of the volume in just seconds with extremely low fees, but it will also be one of the most decentralized blockchains in the world. This is important because it will prevent any one institution, government, or person from gaining dominance or leverage over the system. Currently, it's faster to put your money in a briefcase and fly it to a different country than it is to send it through a bank. Transfer wait times and fees are archaic. Every year a major bank goes without blockchain is trillions of savings lost to the inefficiencies of our international payment systems. It's a question of when, not if, banks and other financial institutions begin using digital assets in their day-to-day business operations. XRP will succeed because it has a purpose, enabling financial institutions to send money across borders quickly, cheaply, and easily.
Well, there you go. That's one heck of an intro to XRP and Ripple, but total support for the actual stablecoin. Moving on to Stellar and Stellar Lumens and the Stellar network. We have our DEXs or digital exchanges, and we're using, or we'll be using Lobstr, but also doubling across to some Stellar Expert and how to use that as a tool as well. But another explainer video on what Stellar is coming up.
Today's global financial infrastructure has a big communication problem. There are a lot of different currencies and a lot of different payment systems. Each one speaks a different language, so they have a hard time understanding each other, which makes moving money slow and expensive, and a lot gets lost in translation. Stellar's vision is to unite the world's financial infrastructure so money can flow quickly and cheaply between banks, businesses, and people. The internet connected the world's computers so information could be shared globally. Stellar is doing the same for money. To accomplish this vision and ensure integrity and neutrality, Stellar is not a bank or a business. Instead, it's a decentralized open network, supported by a non-profit foundation that handles every currency and speaks to every payment system in its native language. That means businesses can move money globally in seconds, no matter what bank they use back home. And people all over the world can use Stellar to send money to family overseas, to convert one currency to another, or to make payments that are too small to cover fees traditionally charged by today's institutions. In the future, Stellar hopes that you won't have to use traditional infrastructure to get your money where you want it to go. Instead, you'll just use Stellar. This is Maria. She lives in the United States. And this is Maria's mom, Paulina. She lives in the Philippines. Today, Maria wants to send her mom $20. This is called a remittance. Remittances are money sent to support a family member in another country, and they're a very big deal. The World Bank estimates that global remittances are over 600 billion US dollars every year. Unfortunately for Maria, sending a remittance is pretty expensive. Her bank in the US has no connection to her mom's bank in the Philippines, so she has to use a money transfer service, which means paying a lot of fees. One popular American service charges a 3% conversion fee, and the transfer takes 3 to 4 days. The same service also offers to do the transfer faster, but for an additional fee of $9.99. If Maria used this service to send $20, it would mean half the amount would be spent on fees. That's a huge percentage. And Maria and Paulina are not alone. The average fee globally for remittances is 7.1% of the transaction. And there are millions of people who pay these fees every day. But what if Maria used Stellar? Stellar is a decentralized platform that unites banks, payment systems, and people so they can easily move money anywhere in the world. If Maria used Stellar to send her $20 to Paulina, the Stellar network would convert her US dollars to Philippine pesos in less than 5 seconds. So Paulina would receive $20 worth of her local currency, not $20 minus fees. Stellar makes this possible by connecting financial institutions to the Stellar network, which has a built-in order book that exchanges assets. So Maria could send US dollars or any other currency to her mom, and it's converted automatically to Philippine pesos. That's the vision of Stellar. Stellar is a platform that aims to connect banks, businesses, and people far more efficiently than today's financial infrastructure. Let's take a bank, a business, and a person and show you how this works. First up, the bank. This is Main Street Bank. To use the Stellar network, Main Street Bank sets up a Stellar account. Then, using Stellar's built-in tools, the bank hooks its existing infrastructure into the Stellar network. Now the bank can take its real-world assets, like dollars, euros, or pounds, and turn them into Stellar tokens. And their customers can deposit a US dollar in Main Street Bank and get a US dollar token on Stellar in return. All Stellar tokens are exchangeable. And since exchanges happen on the Stellar network, they only take a few seconds and cost a fraction of a penny. Anyone can transfer, store, and trade Stellar tokens, just like lumens, anywhere on the Stellar network. So now the bank can take a dollar, turn it into a token, transfer it around the world in 2 to 5 seconds, and convert it back to a dollar again. For banks, Stellar makes money transfers fast, simple, and inexpensive. Next up, the business. Let's call it ABC Technologies. ABC makes an app. They want to make it possible for the app's users to buy and sell in-game items with each other using a single currency. To do that, they use Stellar to create a new token called the ABC token. The ABC token is, in effect, a new cryptocurrency running on Stellar. It isn't backed by a real-world dollar like Main Street Banks, but other than that, it acts entirely the same. With Stellar, any business can create new tokens to reward customers and create new economies and markets related to their brands. Finally, we have people. This is Lee. She's a big fan of ABC's app, and she wants to buy a new avatar. Unfortunately, she doesn't have any ABC tokens left. So what does she do? She uses Stellar's built-in marketplace to buy some. Lee has US dollar tokens that she previously bought from Main Street Bank. She transfers those into the ABC app and instantly converts them into ABC tokens to buy her favorite avatar. And if she has some US dollar tokens left over, she can return them to Main Street Bank and get her dollars back right in her bank account. Or she can hang on to them or trade them for another token. Any asset can be turned into a token on Stellar. Traditional currencies, cryptocurrencies, real estate investments. So whether you're a bank, a business, or a person, Stellar makes it possible to quickly and efficiently issue, exchange, and transfer tokens in an entirely new way.
So as we can see, Stellar is more the people's money as opposed to XRP being the institution and corporate side of the digital currencies. But moving on to XDC, again, it's a different network for a different purpose. Smart contracts and utilities, and also analytic platforms.
What is XinFin? XinFin stands for Exchange Infinite. It is the next generation of the global computer network, connecting communities and enterprises around the globe using blockchain technology. The network is powered by its native fuel, called XinFin Digital Contracts, or XDCs. XinFin is a first-of-its-kind hybrid blockchain network. It combines the power and transparency of public blockchains with the security and speed of private networks. A permissioned consensus mechanism replaces the wasteful, energy-intensive mining, making XDC essentially mining-free. So how does hybrid work? The network has a public state that is shared by all members. Additionally, enterprises can host private subnetworks. So with Enterprise A and B, each will have the public state plus their own unique private state. The public state can be used to share basic data securely and transparently across the XDC network. The private state can be used to protect sensitive or financial data from the outside world. The XDC protocol can work as a messaging and confirmation layer for domestic or cross-border approved payments. Or the XDC token can be used as a payment and settlement layer, supported by approved financial institutions. With secure and audited smart contracts and IoT integration, the XDC protocol facilitates real-world contracts and transactions. Come, join the XDC community.
And keeping in mind, XDC as a digital token is going to be backed by copper. Looking at Algorand now as a stablecoin backed by palladium and primarily for digital applications on the blockchain.
Okay, class, let's talk about the first of the key Algorand features, the pure proof-of-stake consensus approach. The most important and fundamental task in a blockchain is the secure, reliable, and fast creation of the next block in the chain. The tool to create and validate the next block in a blockchain is called the consensus mechanism. Early blockchains used a consensus mechanism called proof of work. While this was useful at the time to prove out the concept of blockchain, it has been shown to be a very slow, expensive, and energy-inefficient way to write the next block in a chain. Algorand uses an innovative consensus mechanism called permissionless pure proof of stake to write the next block in the Algorand chain. Proof of stake works by randomly selecting committees from the participating algo holders, and these different committees then validate and approve the next block in the chain. These committees are chosen using a unique cryptographic randomization tool called the VRF, or Verifiable Random Function, which was invented by Algorand founder Silvio Micali. Every time a block is written, a new set of random committees is established and the block creation process starts again. These powerful randomization and block creation mechanisms are the foundation for how Algorand has solved the blockchain trilemma, creating a blockchain that has global scale, robust security, and true decentralization. We'll discuss each of these features in our next lessons.
So again, Algorand primarily at the smart contract end of the blockchain. Moving on to IOTA, or the Internet of Things. And
A cup of coffee to get the day started right is a must for many. But do you ever wonder how the coffee made it all the way to your table? And even if you think you know, how can you be sure it's true? Supply chains are complex systems with many actors involved. At every step in the supply chain, data must be verified before exchange of custody. The ever-growing flow of goods puts our current logistical structure under a lot of pressure. Critical documents go missing, cargo gets stuck at customs, and agricultural goods deteriorate while awaiting border clearances. $4 trillion are lost each year. That is more than the entire German GDP going right down the drain. What if we told you all of this is about to change? Introducing IOTA, the world's first open-source distributed ledger built to power the Internet of Things. By implementing the Tangle, the data structure behind IOTA, a single version of the truth is enabled by logging the entire supply chain onto a tamper-proof distributed ledger. This allows all involved parties to review the what, where, and when of the coffee bean's journey. Smart devices constantly communicate with each other to record and exchange critical logistical data. Effortlessly monitor essential activities, from air temperature to date stamps and GPS locations of shipments on the go. Many companies are already attempting to prove the sustainability and ethics of their products. By utilizing the Tangle, this ambition can finally become reality. Imagine a future that's transparent and incorruptible, where each transaction is verified, recorded, and easily accessible in a tamper-proof ledger. A future where the supply chain is faster, smarter, and secure. Join us in creating that future.
Okay, so again, bit of further information on IOTA and the Tangle. Their term for a change from the generic blockchain model, which is individual one at a time transactions. Their desire is to connect all of them together and have the newest added verify the newest added, so to speak. So again, adding stablecoins to your Lobstr wallet, you need to decide on which way you want to go. Certainly recommend holding XRP and XLM for your exchanges, and then make a decision on whether you wish to secure tokens, assets, but will be done through a different network. Additional coins that are available within Lobstr, we've got USDC, as mentioned in the Stellar explainer video. USD is issued by regulated institutions and backed fully by reserve assets and redeemable on a one-to-one basis. So if you peg one-to-one with the US dollar, if you initiate a transaction to buy one USD coin using fiat currency, then you get one fiat currency deposited. YXLM, a yield earning XLM. If you have a store of value in XLM, you've got the option to put it into YXLM and get a return yield of 4%. Rather than just have it sit there and do nothing, you can have a store of value and it actually works for you. Our APY tokens include also YUSDC. Same deal. You get a yield on your deposit. Now, Elon came out with a partnership with Stellar and came out with the Elon Stellar USD to start with, whereby you could invest fixed amounts, hold a stake, and allow them to reuse it, or just hold in your wallet for a return. They're currently on hold. We expect them to come to the fore and restart again once the flip has occurred. Also got EUSD, and for your invested amounts, holding for 7 days, paid weekly, and you return capital back. They did have these dates, payments were made, the process does work, which they proved, and again, they withholding payments, we suspect due to not wanting to fall into the wrong hands. So the APY assets, limited circulation caps, cash back on early buy-ins. You must have a minimum level to hold and maximize your APY, and they were getting paid daily into e-wallets. And they do have a Telegram channel, which is the easiest way to find the most current and stay up to date. And released a new one this morning. So again, with overview 2, there's only 30,000 on the soft cap for this one, returning 565% in XLM, and then you've got your daily return 2 XLM a day they're up to. But again, payments are on hold at the moment. You need to satisfy yourself as to whether you wish to secure those tokens. So for a basic wallet, base configuration would certainly include XRP and XLM. I'd certainly recommend USDC as a transfer token, and you may wish to stake those values back into the APY return or yielding tokens. And again, your Elons are your choice. Moving on to the Indus payment framework, as available and reviewable through Indus Tech and Indus Payments. We'll jump across to Stellar Expert, quickly have a look at Indus Payments. Stellar Expert is the platform that shows and displays what's actually on the ledger for each of these accounts. So we can see under induspayments.com, these are the assets within that domain. You can see here, for example, Oz Silver Sale is currently holding 550 billion and 6.4 in value, or in coin count, I should say. Current value is 39,886 USD. But as the ecosystem fills up, you can see that significant holdings are held waiting for the machine to kick off. And that continues to happen as more assets get released onto the Stellar ecosystem. So in reviewing what you need to hold or what you should hold to get what dividend and what yield, that can be seen in the dividend structure here. You need to hold the gold note to get gold buy. You need to hold the gold reserve, or sorry, to get gold reserve, you need to hold gold dividend, gold pay and gold transfer. Gold bullion, you need to hold dividend and trade. And this is how it has been explained that it all operates. Again, I've broken it down even further because it can be quite confusing. So the asset to hold would be gold note, and you would be paid in gold buy. Gold reserve, you hold it, you paid in gold dividend, gold pay and gold transfer. Gold bullion for gold dividend and trade, and gold spot for gold sale. Holding gold mine as a dividend payment from gold mining projects. Gold invest, you'll get dividend payments from gold projects, and IPay is compounding interest from holding the value of IPay. And that covers us off on the information side. Do you have any questions out of that, Mr. Tracy?
It's very good information. Like I said, some of the stuff was new to me, and it's just unbelievable that we are moving into this for our future. It's exciting.
It's like drinking from the fire hose with the amount of information, but you'll be able to review the video, get your head across it, and certainly get us any questions, and we can pick up from there.